Hey everybody, I want to talk about the fun topic of working around injuries or dealing with injuries. Most of us have something going on. The common areas are our knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders are our common areas. And that being said, it's because they're the joints that get used the most. There's a lot of free range of motion, or such as your lower back, it is because the other joints aren't picking up the slack. And so when you're coming into workout, coaches would like to ask, how are you feeling? What's going on with the injuries? No injury for one person is exactly the same. So if we're dealing with, let's say, a shoulder injury, for the most part, going overhead is going to be uncomfortable. But for a lot of people, we can switch that up to doing more of a horizontal press, where now we take the trap or trapezius out of that exercise. We also have more room for that shoulder to move, versus overhead we have we're closing off the shoulder joint as we go overhead, which is a higher chance of aggravating an injury. Also being said, so like lower back injuries are quite common to happen just throughout life, whether it's because we sit a lot, we've been driving a lot, we slipped and fell on the ice, we were born with it, how we sleep. There's a lot of factors that go into lower back. And so some of the areas that we want to do to address that is most likely bringing ourselves to a more neutral position. So when we're working out and coming in for that day, depending on what we can take, is we're going to add more stability to the lower back area. And so that might be doing things such as laying down on the ground, versus like doing a squat. We might go from going to a goblet squat to doing a very stable squat, such as using the straps. So I'm still working the legs, but now I have the straps to add stability to that joint. And so when any kind of injury we're working at, we can always work around it, whether that's being completely avoiding it and working other areas of the body, which are going to be beneficial, or trying to address, can I get that movement in a different way, whether that's decreasing range of motion. So let's say with our knees, so if I come here, that's uncomfortable, but if I go here, that feels fine. Awesome, let me own that position, strengthening my legs there, and over time, I might be able to get a little lower, but I don't necessarily want to push through the discomfort. I want to listen to the cues that my body is saying. If there's a reason why it's saying this doesn't feel good. And the idea of just pushing through and thinking it's going to get better is not a great mindset. You want to listen to the body, work with what it's giving you, and pay attention, and then communicate also with the coaches. If we give you an exercise, let's say go back to the shoulder, we think a floor press is feeling good, but you're like, no, I'm still really feeling that in my shoulder. That could be a positional thing we want to change, or maybe the shoulder's just not ready to handle that right now at the point where it's at. So big takeaways is injuries we can work around, we can modify them, being aware of the signals that your body is saying, and then listening to them. There's a reason why your body is saying, I don't like this. And as coaches, we want to work with you so that you can get the best results you can while also progressing and feeling better.